Welcome back to the OHSU Effect Inside Health and Science at OHSU. I'm Lacey Evans. Well, school is starting, which means school sports are starting too, and injuries are going to be commonplace. With us now on the OHSU Effect is Dr. Jim Chesnutt, the medical director of the OHSU Sports Medicine Program. Hi, doctor. Thanks for coming on.
Good to talk to you.
So some kids have been practicing for weeks now. What are the most common injuries that parents, coaches, and players should be worried about?
Well, particularly in the fall and early, school year, we're going to see a lot of injuries that are just basically related to overuse as people are transitioning, into a new sport. Start seeing shin splints, things like that. In the summer, of course, it's hot, so you might see a few more dehydration cases and things like that. So the problem is coming out of summer, a lot of people like to relax, kick back. They haven't really been working out, the way that they probably should be to prepare. So we do have some advice for these students to kind of prepare. But basically, the injuries are going to be more related to, trying to get back into their sport and, maybe having a few strains and sprains here and there.
Well, prior to the season, what can they do to prepare for the season? And is a standard physical going to catch any of these problems?
Well, the Oregon state law requires that high school students have a sports physical every 2 years. And so the goal of that sports physical is to catch some of the standard kind of medical problems that may be associated with exercise. Certainly, we're most concerned about issues that would cause severe health problems or even death in an athlete. Those would be like a heart problem that could cause an abnormal rhythm. And unfortunately, we have had a number of students across the country and even here in Oregon last year who died of heart problems. The standard sports physical is designed to address those issues, but it really cannot screen out all of those issues. So we try to listen for murmurs. We try to really focus on symptoms that may be related to heart problems. And if we find those things, then we have some additional tests that we'll do to perform. There's some controversy about whether or not we should be doing EKGs or echocardiograms, but those tests currently have not been shown to be evidence-based, so many people have not started instituting those yet.
And, of course, a physical isn't going to catch, strained muscles or twist an ankle or anything like that, right?
Right. Unfortunately, you can't always prevent problems, but we do screen for some weaknesses in certain areas, and these are areas that we would focus on in preparation for a season. For instance, a lot of youth and even a lot of adults who run, for instance, have very weak hips. So they're not able to support their hips, and as they run, their knees will kind of deviate in and move a little bit, and then it'll cause knee pain. So one of the things we screen for often is hip strength, and we recommend some hip strengthening programs and also some, say, ankle strengthening programs. We actually have some of those on our website, which is ohsusportsmedicine.com, that kind of outlines some hip strengthening and maybe some shin splint prevention programs. So we always recommend people go to that site and kind of look up those programs.
Well, of course, equipment is cheaper than surgery. So are there any certain types of equipment or like braces that you would recommend kids use when playing sports? Well,
we don't actually recommend standard bracing other than football protective equipment. So we do recommend, a good helmet, a well-fitted helmet, making sure that, you wear the chin strap. And the key thing is, to wear, the appropriate pads. For soccer, of course, shin splints. And if you've ever been kicked in the shin, that's a real problem. So, but a lot of other sports, there's not a lot of protective equipment except for a mouth guard is really key in the contact sports, and I think is highly underused in basketball and soccer, though it is required in football. Wearing a simple mouth guard can prevent very damaging injuries to your teeth and your mouth. It can be very expensive and painful. So, a lot of people spend a lot of money on braces, and so it just makes a lot of sense to spend a little bit of money on a mouth guard and really protect your teeth for lifelong.
Well, you mentioned football, and of course that sport causes so many aches and pains. It's such full contact. Mm-hmm. So where is the line? Where should a player actually see a doctor if they're feeling hurt?
Well, generally, in football, you're going to have some pain, and so many people are going to play through pain. If the injury or the pain that you're having is causing you to limit what you're doing or causing you to modify significantly how you're running, or you're cutting, then you really should go get that checked out, particularly if things aren't getting better after days of trying to rest or rehabilitate. If your knee swells up, I think that's a good indication you need to see the doctor. Simple sprained ankles can be treated with some taping and braces, and you can do pretty well. But if you're really not able to jump and cut, those are reasons to modify what you're doing. See an athletic trainer if your school has one, or your therapist, and go to your primary care doctor or your sports medicine doctor, orthopedist, and get these things checked out.
Concussions are huge nowadays. Lots of parents are worried about those. So how have sports programs improved in regards to monitoring players and, making sure they sit on the sidelines when necessary?
Right. Well, concussions, of course, that subject is really prominent right now in the media, in the schools, amongst parent groups, and amongst athletes. Here in Oregon, we've been kind of pioneering the management and identification of concussions, which has been great. We have a state group called the Oregon Concussion Awareness and Management Program, which I help direct with Mick Keister down in Eugene, and a number of other groups, including some research group down in Eugene, the brain injury team down there. And basically, we all help to get together with the Brain Injury Association of Oregon and get a new state law called Max's Law. And so that law requires that if you have concussion symptoms, that you're out until you're cleared by a physician, that you have progressed back in with a kind of a graded exertional program, that you have yearly coaches education on concussion for the schools, and that the focus of that program also is to have a comprehensive concussion program at the school. And we're helping to really identify these concussions early, keep them out of play, really focus on getting them rest, rehabilitation, helping them transition back into academics, and then when everything's going well, getting them back into sports. But really, most concussions, if you rest, you can get back in by the next week and do extremely well. And the big problem is going back too soon and getting concussion upon concussion, and then symptoms sometimes can last for months, if not years, and sometimes permanent brain damage. So we're really being proactive in Oregon, and I've got to hand it to a lot of great partners here in Oregon that are making concussion management really be top-notch, even as a great example across the United States.
Well, yeah, I'm really glad that coaches are being made more aware of what to look for. But what about care? I mean, care for concussions has really improved. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well, it has. One of the reasons that care, I think, has improved is that we're having uniform assessment and treatment protocols across the state. We have a new return to play release form for the OSA that we're looking at this year. We also use neurocognitive tests. One of them is called IMPACT, another is called CogState, and we're using those now to pre-test the athletes, so we understand kind of their baseline cognitive function, reaction time. We're able to use those tests later after a concussion to understand when people are getting back to their baseline. Those tests are not the end-all of concussion care, but they help us as another tool to understand, along with a good clinical examination and symptom log, when the athletes are ready to go back and when they've recovered appropriately. And, of course, we're really trying to focus on academics as well as sports, but it helps us get them back to sports much more quickly. And anyway, if you're interested in that subject, on our website as well, the OHSU sportsmedicine.com, there's a lot about concussion there. And also the OCAMP, OCAMP.org, has a great website as well for information and resources if you're interested in finding more about the subject.
Well, great. Well, let's talk some more about the newer technologies that are available at OHSU in treating sports injuries. Sure.
Well, we do have a comprehensive concussion management team, which is great. We also are developing some excellent approaches to musculoskeletal care. There's a study that will be hopefully published soon about a new cartilage patch called NeoCart that Dr. Crawford has been pioneering. And I think it will be really one of the new, excellent, innovative treatments for cartilage injuries. And we're also doing a lot of innovative care in hip scope treatment by Dr. Andrea Herska. And she's basically one of the leaders in hip labral and cartilage tears on the West Coast here. And so and we're also developing unique ways of ultrasound evaluation and treatment. So we have lots of things going on and in different walks of of sports medicine and musculoskeletal care as well, and innovative spine center, and so a lot of great things going on here.
Yeah, great. Dr. Jim Chesnutt, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much, Lacey.
More OHSU Effect next on KXL.